Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Oshinoko episode number 7 reaction. So the previous episode, yeah, it was a very heavy hitting episode. In the reality dating TV show, everyone's participating. We get introduced to a few characters. One of the character was Akane, and her trying to be more like trying to stand out more in the whole like a reality TV show. She tried to kind of like put in some, like, what can I say, try a little bit more, and accidentally scratched one of the other girls. I forgot her name. Her name is like Yuki or something. I forgot. And obviously everything's happening within them, so they're not really troubled by it. The audience, however, yeah, they go full crazy, just like it usually happens, without knowing what's going on behind the camera. They take up the pitchfork and start harassing her and doing so many things, just crazy stuff. And the fact that she tried to kind of apologize without knowing that in these type of situations you shouldn't really apologize like that directly is going to make the whole thing worse. And the fact that she couldn't really talk about the whole situation, she was kind of barred from talking about the situation. She still did talk about it in social media, but it really didn't help. And yeah, it went to a crazy degree as to which she tried to like harm herself. Went to like a bridge kind of thing. But thankfully Aqua was there, and Aqua stopped her from doing it. And yeah, Aqua probably realized like something like this might actually happen. So he was probably keeping an eye on the group chat, and as soon as he realized that she's probably going to do something, he probably ran off trying to find her. Thank God for that. But yeah, it was crazy. The previous episode was crazy. It really shows us how vicious the social media is. Without knowing what's going on, people love to point fingers at others, and yeah, like that's why all this happened. Either way, let us begin episode number 7. Yeah, so get started. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. So here's the countdown: 3, 2, 1, go. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, oh. He probably is keeping track of the. Oh, there you go. Trace the route. Mm. Oh boy. So this is a police officer? Yeah, I think so. Oh boy, here we go. Kind of thing. Yeah, true. Like there are different people, the way they look, to take criticism. Oh boy. Yeah, exactly. And must have gone through the same thing at certain degree. But it's like it's too toxic. The people. Damn. Wow, that is crazy. Ooh, yeah. True. Yeah, the show doesn't really get bombarded. Yeah. Um. Yep. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh God. Is it Aqua? I think so. No, wait. Who? Oh, the police probably. Arrested. Not arrested, but yeah, there you go. Oh boy. Oh, that's why her mom wasn't also able to help her out because she kept everything like secret from her mom as well. She thought that Aqua probably committed some crime or something. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, this is what's her name? Yuki? Oh my God. Yeah. Like another thing, like she would feel also responsible for this because she's also another person who would feel so much more responsible because it is her like face that got like we have to do something about this whole situation. Yeah. No, at this point, yeah, exactly. We can do something about this. Yeah. I feel like she won't. Yeah, she doesn't want to. Yeah, no more social media. Just ban social media from your. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, Aqua's gonna do something about this. Let's see what he does. Yeah, exactly. The production stuff is also has their own. Oh, he's gonna do something crazy here. Press club. Oh, okay. Ah, his eyes again changed color. Okay, wait, I didn't wasn't properly able to read it. Oh, he has a camera ready. All right. Attempted suicide. Okay, okay, you don't understand unless you get hurt. Okay, I need to read all of this later on. Good way to counter this one. Yeah, I feel like he plans on doing something. Yeah. Photos and videos. 100? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Taking things out of context. Yep. Oh, yeah, he has been helping out the. Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe he'll put it on YouTube or something. Uh, yeah, that is true. I agree. When you're looking for an answer. Ah. Which is why we need proof for everything. Okay. She wants to do it. Oh wow. Okay. Probably not. Music. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. The one where. Oh. Wait, do they have that? Oh. Wow. Well, that'll help. All right, we gotta sneak in then. Get the footage. All right, let's see what Aqua does here. Two. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So you are just, yeah, entertainment. You think this is entertainment? Oh wow, this is, what a piece of crap. And you took advantage of that? Yeah. Oh damn. Yeah. Oh yeah, she did go and ask him about the whole situation. Yo, what happened to Aqua? Okay, so this is like a behind the scenes, like, okay. Damn. It's like, oh, everything 5,000. No, I feel like this one's going to go. Okay. Alright, here we go. All of the cast media made a video. Okay. Okay, 3, 6. Alright, it's happening. There you go. Alright. Hmm. There you go. Oh my god. Okay, that's a lot. Work to solidify the popularity. Okay. Okay, what is this? Is attacking the show the trend? What? To fair degree. Yeah, that is true. Yes. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But Hmm. Socializing. Yeah. Yeah. Low key. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, he's gonna bring up I. He's gonna bring up I. What? Okay, that is not a personality point. He was talking. They were talking about personality. There you go. That's more like it. Abstract. There you go. Oh, he's gonna spit out the drink. She really tracked it down quickly. She was like, "Oh, it's I." Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I of Pequot. She's researching. Okay. Okay. Is she going to wear like contacts or something? Social approval. Personality development points. Wow. She is smart. She can pick up so much thing with all of. Damn. Okay, I feel like she is going a little bit too far. What the? Wait, what is going on here? Okay, she is. Oh boy. Okay. Mm. Oh, okay. What? What is that? Wait, really? Okay. Oh boy, she's going to do the whole Hoshino Ai perfectly. Like, that persona. Which she was like obsessively writing everything and like, studying and everything. Alright, here we go. Oh my god, here we go. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay, one thing I realized this late in the story, the star in their eyes are actually like a symbol. It's not an actual thing. Like it's just a like denote like a way to denote that, oh, like there's something about like that thing. I feel like up until now I thought that that star in the eye was actually like a, I don't know what I thought. I thought it was like a, like some kind of a like a special characteristic that eyes had. But no, it's just a, I don't know, like just a thing to show us that, oh, this is Hoshino Ai and this is Ai's kids. So that is why here, like you see, Akane's eyes at first were normal, but when she started playing Ai's part, her eyes started having that thing, that design. Mhm. All right, that is it, I think. Yeah. Okay, so that was episode number 7, I think. Yeah, episode number 7. So here in this episode, we begin with that section where Akane was going to jump, and as we saw, not us, yeah, Aqua comes in and saves her, and like a police officer comes in and takes them in. So he okay before that we get an explanation as to how Aqua was able to find her. So basically, Memcho contacted him and said something said something like, oh, like Aqua probably went out, I cannot really find her, so help me out. So that is when Aqua, like as he said, he tracked the path from like the convenience store and everything, and probably like tried to like figure out where she might be, and that is how he was able to find her. So okay, that's what happened over there. Now while all of this was happening, you get to see Arima and Ruby talking about the whole situation. And okay, so here Ruby says something. Ruby says like, isn't this kind of thing you get used to once you become a public figure? And she says to some degree, but it varies with person, and some people never really get used to it, which is true. Yeah, I guess at a certain like degree, it is kind of resolved. Like you understand, like, oh, there's a lot of people criticizing about the situation, who are just like, a few people are complete trolls, like they just do it for the fun, and a few people who are genuinely gets offended by like these type of situations, small little situation, without even fact checking. They just get annoyed at the like at the situation and start bashing the whole thing. So the like these type of like there's these type of categories of people. Like the online trolls are just trolls. Don't really need to like take them seriously. Like you can understand the way they talk, the way they like it's kind of understandable most of the time that, oh, this guy's just trolling, just ignore that person. And then obviously the people who genuinely don't like take the whole situation and try to understand the situation and bash, they're just toxic, if you think about it. And then obviously there are people who are genuinely confused about the situation, they want some answer to it. And yeah, like I guess people who give constructive criticism, their advice is something that you should definitely take, unlike the people who just don't fact check, don't know anything about the situation, just bashes in one direction. So it all depends. You can kind of understand which people to take seriously, which people to take not seriously. Most of the comments you really shouldn't take it seriously. Like try to take the constructive criticism and improve your own craft. At the same time, ignore the other nonsense. But here it is Akane. This is Akane we're talking about, as they kind of established in the previous episode. Akane is the type of person who is not really used to this. He's pretty new to all of this. And at the same time, she is also a very genuinely kind-hearted person who takes everything seriously, takes every criticism seriously. So she just took everything to heart, which is something that, like, was a mistake in this situation. Like, you shouldn't really take these things to heart. But yeah, that's why Arima's like, not necessarily everyone gets out of this whole phase. Like, there are a few people who still gets hurt by reading the comments and looking at these criticisms. Okay, so here we get to see like Arima also kind of is talking about her own personal experiences. It seemed like there was a section where her own eyes kind of lost all color when she's like, sometimes it is enough to give you the illusion your whole life is over. Like, I could imagine she probably went through all of this a lot, but as you can see, Arima is a lot mentally stronger than Akane. That's why she probably was able to just ignore that and keep doing her own thing. But yeah, she must have gone through the same thing as well, because if you think about it, her situation is also kind of similar. Not similar, I would say, but her situation was a little milder than this whole crazy thing that happened with Akane. A little milder than this. Like, for her, what happened was she kind of fell off, and that's why there was like people probably just mocked her, and that is all that happened. Like, she probably just ignored it. But here in Akane's situation, her situation was way out of hand. People were actually attacking her verbally and through social media. So her situation was something crazy different. But yeah, Arima also has gone through some similar situations, so she knows about this thing. And okay, another thing she kind of says, not she, but Miyako says, dating reality shows are popular all around the world, though nearly 50 people from such shows have their lives taken away by this. It's such an issue that some countries have laws requiring cast members to undergo counseling. I can understand. I can understand what she's saying, because yeah, looking at this whole situation, you can see that first of all, the audience are complete, half of the most of the audience who watch these type of shows, they actually think what's happening on the other side of the camera is real. Either a few of them are too young to understand that this is all kind of scripted, and they have this delusion, and a few of them are probably just delusional. They think everything that's going on the other side of the camera are actually real. So, and those people are the ones who are the most vocal about this situation. This is the thing, people are easy to just be vocal about a negative thing more than a positive thing. If you do something good, a few people will kind of commend you. They'll be like, yeah, good job, I saw this, nice, you'll get that motivation. Yeah. If you do something bad and kind of mess up somehow, you'll probably get way more bashed about that situation. So this is the thing. Negative comments are usually they have the more power, more vocal power. And that is why in these type of situations, all the negative comments are coming up. Let's just assume that she made a Twitter apology. You remember that? She made a Twitter apology. Underneath it, let's just assume that there were 20 comments underneath it, all of them bashing her. Let's just assume that. So looking at the situation, you're like, oh no, everyone hates me. But that is actually not the whole situation. You need to think about this. 200 people are bashing you. There is millions of people watching the show, and there's so many people who probably don't think nothing about this whole situation. There's some amount of people who think that whatever's happening to you are probably wrong. The only thing that's highlighted is the negative the people who are vocal about it, who unnecessarily make this nonsense about, oh, look at this girl, she's such a bad person, taking things out of context, they're the people who are the most vocal about it. And their things gets highlighted. It is an illusion. We don't understand that there's so many people who might actually be supporting us. They're not just vocal about it. That is the reality of the most of the situations like this. And I feel like the best way to counteract these type of situations is that, like, there'll always be these negative people, these haters who just take things out of context and just bash you about stuff. There'll always be that 200 people that I talked about. What I guess you can do in this type of situation to at least make the other people a little bit happier is that you support them and be vocal about that support. Like, negative people are being vocal about their negativity. So if you are a person who probably understands what's going on and who's a little bit more mature about the situation, and you probably know that, what happened in this, this TV show, the Akane situation, I'm 100% sure that what happened there was an accident. So, like, the bashing that this girl is getting is actually not okay. So if you are one of those person, just write a nice comment and try to support that person. I feel like that is the only thing that can probably help in this situation, because like I said, like, negative people who are like typing these negative comments, their comments are getting highlighted. And usually people don't really, like, in these type of situations, try to keep quiet about this thing. Don't really try to go against the mob, because otherwise they'll get bullied. So yeah, I feel like in these type of situations, the only thing that you can probably do is just, like, write a nice comment. Like, out of those 200 people who are bashing you, if there's at least, like, I don't know, like a 50 comments other than that who actually says that, what, nah, I feel like this was an accident, you guys are taking this way out of, like context and way out of line. So yeah, I don't think this is what happened, so you guys should stop, this type of thing. And the thing is that as more people see that, someone is supporting this girl, if they think that of the same way, they'll also probably write a comment to it, and they'll be like, yeah, you're right, I was also thinking about this. I also feel like this is being taken way out of, taken way out of hand. So yeah, like, you guys chill out. And so looking at that, another person who might be seeing that and who always wanted to write a comment to support that person but was probably scared to do so, now that he's seeing that there's like 2 or 3 more people supporting, they'll also get that courage and they'll also do that. And like this, it'll kind of snowball into like a few positive comments. And like, you might think yeah, out of 200, 300 comments, what is a mere 10, 20 positive comments going to do? I feel like the person who's reading this, who's being bashed around by the internet like this, if they at least find that 20 to 30 people that are actually supporting them, that might actually save their life. Like, they'll at least be like, all right, you know what? Someone actually understands what's going on. Not everybody hates me. But yeah, that is the thing. Like, in reality, like I said, like, the minimum people are the ones who are getting angry about this. It's the whole illusion of, like, oh, 200 comments, everyone hates me. No, that's not the case. Millions of people watch this show. Out of those million people, only 200 people are hating on you like this. I'm sure the rest of them, actually, like a big, like, majority of the people who are not commenting, a lot of them supports you. Like, that is one thing that we always need to keep in mind. But like in these type of situations, when you're mentally stressed out, like, we always forget that that is the case. Like, a very minority people actually comments. Like, majority don't comment. So it's not that this world is doomed. There's a lot of people who actually support you. All that, they don't actually comment. And they're kind of, going against the mob is something that they don't want to do. They don't want to, stir the hornet's nest, that type of thing. So yeah, like, this thing, like, this is just what I think. Like, I feel like this could probably help so many people out. Like, seeing that few, 10 to 20 positive comments out of like a in a whole war zone, like, that 10 to 20 like positive comments might actually save someone. And like, that's just what I think. I feel like that is one way to kind of counter this whole situation. Otherwise, I don't see any other way, because people will be nasty, like always. All the, like, like as they say, there will be a few amount of people who will just be like unnecessary vocal about this whole situation. Like people who are hating on Akane, like like what did they get out of this? That's the thing. Like all they like wanted to do was probably act as the social police, like the, like that, like the local like, like hero, like, oh, you know what I did, I bullied a person, like I showed that person their place in social media. Wow, what an achievement you've done, like great job. Like, that is the type of people that does these type of things. Like it's so unnecessary and just so bad. Like it's crazy. But yeah, anyways, I kind of, yeah, went on a, well, this wasn't really like a different topic, but I kind of like wanted to talk about this. Anyways, so here, after that whole situation, um okay, so next, okay, Ruby said, not Ruby, sorry, Anima says each person has their own like, negative parts. There are always something about them that can give rise to criticism, which is also another true thing. Like people will always just highlight that part, like, oh, this person did this thing this many years ago, this one time, he's an evil person, we should bully him or her to complete, like, like just, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like one little thing that Akane did, scratch the other person, oh, she's nasty, she did that deliberately. Like you see what, like the type of, like, act she plays, that's all a lie. She's actually a nasty person. This is the whole thing. That was all the people were, like, talking about. That one little thing. Oh boy, just taking things out of context, making a whole mess of that situation. All right, next, the phone call comes in. They get to know that, what's her name? His name? Aqua has been taken in by the police. I feel like Miyako probably first thought that he has done something crazy. Like, so, but yeah, obviously in this situation he helped someone, so there you go. Now we get to see in the police station, Akane is kind of crying, and her mom is like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, I didn't want you to go into, like, get into, like, go into this type of tough situation. I didn't want to stress you out. And usually I feel like this is also another thing that happens, like when, like, there's a few things that kind of plays, and I think, like in this type of situation, when you're like here, Akane, for example, was getting completely, like, like bullied in the internet. Number one, she didn't want her mom to get into this whole mess because she knew her mom will also be stressed out by this. Number two, and this I think is a very big thing that plays a part in this whole situation where she kept quiet, is embarrassment and shame. I don't know, this is just what I feel, but I feel like a big portion, a reason why people in these type of situations, people don't talk about it to their friends, be it family, is because of shame and embarrassment. They don't want to show their loved ones what is happening. Like, yeah, this is a situation where I'm, like, in. Like usually, like, this is the thing, people usually don't like to show other people their weaknesses, and some, like, like situations where they're in trouble, they don't really want to bother other people with that. Like I feel like a big reason for that is embarrassment and shame. And I don't know, I just feel that, like, in any type of situation where people try to conceal something that is happening from their parents, be their friends, like embarrassment plays a big role in it. For example, like, just like let's talk about bullying, like bullying, like actual bullying, not the social media internet bullying, like school bullying. One reason, obviously, like they know that if you talk about this, the whole thing is going to get worse. Another reason I feel like they don't really share their whole situation is embarrassment. They're embarrassed to say that, oh, this is happening to me, in my like, to me. And yeah, I don't know, like, I think this is also another reason, and Akane probably felt that. Another thing was that, as you saw, like, people were also bashing her mother. That is also another reason she didn't want to tell that to her mom. Like, a lot of reasons, like, plays a part for people kind of concealing it to themselves, and that is, most of the time, that is actually more dangerous. And if you don't share your trouble with other people, yeah, you're going to get completely crushed by that burden. And if you tell other people and actually share that, oh, you know what, this is what's going on to me, you know, I'm kind of stressed out, they can help you. You know, talking to people kind of takes away your burden because you're sharing with someone else. You know, even if they cannot really do anything actively to help you, they can at least listen to you. They can at least give you comfort. They can at least kind of, you know, like just say that, yeah, you know what, it's fine, like, you know, you'll be okay, things will be okay soon, don't worry, you know. So these type of things, so that also made her stressed out so much because she didn't share it with anyone else. And not anyone else but her mother, because all everyone else was knowing what was happening, but her mother, at least, she didn't really share it to her. So you can see, like, you know, she's crying and her mom is like very surprised, you can see. And her mom probably realized here that, you know what, from this point on, she probably decided from this point onwards that from here onwards, you know, like, I'm going to take an active, like, you know, like, interest on whatever she does. Because, like, you know, I think she says something like, I don't know what, okay, what did she say? Just a minute. Okay. Okay, here we go. She says, my daughter told me not to watch her show, and I'm largely unfamiliar with the internet. This part. I feel like from this point onwards, she is definitely going to, like, just try to get actively involved with her. Like, and even if she, Akane herself, says, like, oh, don't need to watch this, she'll definitely do it from here onwards. Because after what happened today, like, yeah, it's just like, she probably, like, kind of blames herself here as well, that if I kept an eye on the whole, even if Akane told me not to do it, if I just secretly watched it and saw what was going on, maybe I could have helped out. And yeah, like, she's definitely going to do that from here onwards. And Akane definitely could have, at least if she shared it with her mother, like, obviously she is kind of, you know, like, she will definitely be embarrassed telling that to her, and she herself will be shameful of that situation, but it's going to take away so much of a burden from her. And maybe this would have taken a different path, maybe she could have, you know, like, been a lot less affected by this if she shared it with her mother. But yeah, nothing you can do about it. In these type of situations, people usually do not really, like, in this stress and this, like, you know, pressure, people really usually do not take the correct decisions. And that's what happened. Okay, now here next we see Aqua is just sitting there, and Miyako comes in and she's like, oh, I just thought, like, something else happened, like, I'm very glad, I'm proud that you actually saved someone. And he's like, yeah, like, you know what, I didn't really do much, but people die easily when someone cries out for help. If you don't act quickly, it'll all be too late. Yeah. Okay. All right, so next we get to see her friends come in. Yuki, I think that was her name. She comes in and just smacks her. And she's like, you idiot, like, why did you do this? And you can always talk to me. And, like, now hugs her. And yeah, so Aqua here says, like, what are you going to do from here onwards? You can just step down from this show. And then, yeah, I think, like, Nobu's like, oh, but isn't, like, she bound by a contract? But here's the thing: in this situation, I doubt anyone can do anything in this. If she wanted to, like, go down, like, you know, like, step down, the directors have no right or no power to stop her from doing it. In no way, because this actually, like, went into a very bad territory, and, you know, like, in this type of situation, they have no right to stop her if she wants to drop down from this. So that is what she Aqua says. Under the circumstances, I doubt they'd raise any objections if she says she's pulling out, because yeah, otherwise they'll get sued completely. Just, you know, like, all right. So here Akane is like, no, you know what? Like, I always wanted to become an actor, and I'm really scared. But this is something that we have, up until now, we have tried. Like, you know, done this. So I also, like, you know, like, I don't want to give up part way. And yeah, there you go. So Mako's like, all right, so let's do that. And everyone's like, we'll support you, we'll work together, and let's get through this no matter how it ends. Alright, so you can see here, Aqua is like, but letting this go, like, like kind of pass away normally, it doesn't sit right with me. Both the production stuff who fan the flames and the netizens who says whatever the hell they please, they sicken me, and I feel like I need to do something about this. And I knew Aqua was probably going to do something about this situation, because he's not the type of person who's just going to let this go. Okay, so he does something here. He says that the police has a thing called a press club. The various news outlets have reporters standing by 24/7 to receive the latest developments. Okay, they're always eagerly waiting a fresh scoop. Okay, so he leaked that to them, this whole situation to them. The whole news article came out after that, and here you can see in the news article it's written, attempted suicide by minors aged actress currently starring in reality dating show, malicious slander on social media is possible cause. And Miyako's like, oh, you really did it, didn't you? And she's like, you know how this will play out? And Aqua's like, yeah, but I don't know how well it'll go. And now the whole reality shows begin, and he's ready with the camera. Okay, so more like, thing comes out, article comes out. The news of Akane's suicide attempt made the rounds. Okay, just a minute. It sparked a variety of controversy. Alright, I see there's a few more comments. One comment is like, you cannot understand unless you get hurt, huh? One day the alarming news suddenly came in. Young performers are unable to endure a barrage of malicious slander. What? I don't understand what this comment is even trying to tell. Like, I really don't understand. What does this mean? You can't understand unless you get hurt. One day the alarming news suddenly came in. Young performers are unable to endure a barrage of malicious slander. So they're still blaming her. Oh my god. The day the internet kills someone. Akira Toda. I saw the news about actress Akane Kurokawa. Okay, wait a minute. A few more. What do you think about Akane Kurokawa's suicide attempt? Why do you think she ended up deciding to take her own life? Please share your views. Answer. You can call it an attempted suicide, but this girl had zero intention of killing. Oh my god. Yo, these people need to get slapped in the faces, you know? Not slapped. They need to get punched. Like actual punch. They need to, like, just sitting behind a social media, just like typing whatever nonsense that you want, you know, like they actually need to go out and actually see the world, what's going on. Like, being a keyboard warrior isn't really a thing. Like they actually need to go outside and, like, just tell this thing to someone in front of their face. You'll get punched, like immediate punch, immediate, like, you know, like thing. Like, you know, I've heard like something, not heard, but this is like a thing I've like there's like one anime that kind of brought this up. I don't exactly remember what anime, but they kind of said that, you know, like, which anime was it? It was such a good quote. I remember a quote where they said that, oh, punching someone is something that is so much more commendable than just talking behind their back. Because, oh, Oregairu, it was Oregairu, I remember. I think it was a quote over there, that punching someone is so much more commendable than talking behind their back, because when you punch someone, not only do you hurt the other person, but you also hurt yourself, because you're connecting a punch. Your hand also gets hurt. So it comes both ways. However, when you talk behind someone's back and hurt them like that, that other person is the only one who is getting hurt. You're not really showing your face, you're not really confronting that whole situation. Yeah, it was Oregairu that said, like, Oregairu has some really cool quotes. I just love it so much. So yeah, like one of this. And this is basically what's happening. And people love just blabbering about stuff just behind a mobile phone or like a computer screen. And they just love it because they are really not getting anything out of, like, you know, like, they're anonymous. Nobody knows what they are doing. And yeah, they can just spew whatever nonsense that they can. Okay, she's a typical attention seeker who wanted to play the part of a poor little. Yeah, these people actually needs help, you know. Like they at first they need a good, like like what can I say, like good little slap in their face, and then they need help. She was always a nuisance and always will be. Yeah, yeah. Look at me, look at me. Those who try to commit suicide should just. What? Hey yo, this comment is one of the most stupid comments I've ever read. Look at me, look at me. Those who try to commit suicide should just die. You know what? I just love how this is actually what happens in social media, and I just love how this anime was able to portray it so beautifully and so nicely. Like this is the circus that is social media, and they were able to bring it out in front of us beautifully. This is reality. They brought reality in front of us. This anime, and I'm so glad about that. Like this type of like comments which make no sense are majority of social media. Like half of the comments doesn't make sense. Like comments like this. I already knew, but Akane is a hysterical nut job. It's so painful, I wanna die. Wow. Well, we're in as much pain, but we're not whining. Don't be a baby. What? We are in as much pain, but we're. What pain are. Okay, you know what? Why am. Why am I trying to. Why am I trying to fight back against a social media comment of an anime? I don't know, but I'm trying to do that. Okay, let's just move on. Okay, naturally some people backed off, but with the fresh kindling, the sneers also accelerated. Yeah, reading these comments actually gave me brain damage. Like what the hell? Okay. It's so hilarious. Like the comments are like on point. This is actually what happens. This is actually what happens. Oh, good God. Oh. Okay, so as Miyako says, like things are kind of like in a neutral position now, plus minus zero. That's what's basically happened. I don't think this is a good way to counter the storm of criticism. But yeah, Aqua has something else in his head going on. And after Akane's performance has been postponed, there's no telling when she'll make her return. You're a willful one, you're going to take responsibility for making this a big story, right? And he's like, I don't see it as a bad bet. The amount of attention it gets is like the amount of chips being wagered. If we back down from this gamble, Akane will come out and a battered loser without putting up a fight. Exactly, this is exactly what I was thinking. Because, yeah, maybe she could just let this go. Just let this die down and that's it. But I feel like, like Akane is the type of person who won't really let that happen. He's like, yeah, if, like they try to mess with us, we need to actually show them the reality and like just shut these people down. And the people who have been bashing her for so long, yeah, they'll probably just move on. But still, like it's like a thing where yeah, we are the one who won the whole war. That type of thing. If we just keep quiet and just back off of the whole thing, Akane will forever be painted as this person. But since we need to like strike back now like this. And that's why I said if we back down from the gamble, Akane will come out a battered loser without putting up a fight. And that is what he doesn't want. We can't win in poker if you don't raise. As long as I have a single ace, I'll play the game. And Miyako's like, reality is not a game of poker. But yeah, Aqua has different ideas. Okay, so Aqua asks Memcho about some videos and pictures of everyone, some background, what do you call them? Behind the scenes kind of thing. And she's like, oh, I don't really have much, 100 of them I think I have. And he's like, more than enough, it's fine. And he says another a very very good thing he says is that clips of a certain side of someone are cut out and assembled together. Yeah, which makes even a saint can be made out to be a bad person. And they kind of show us a little picture of this one girl just laughing and cutting a fish like this, and they just they cropped out a portion of it, and now it seems like she's a vicious murderer or something. While in the actual situation, she's just cutting a fish and just laughing. Perfect. This is what it is. Social media, taking things out of context. Yeah, this is the circus that everyone goes through in social media. Every day things are taken out of context, and people just make this whole narrative of someone being such a bad evil person, while in reality they just cherry-picked a certain scene. Okay, this is what they call staging. I have the skills to do video editing, so as long as I have the materials, I can do it. And mentions like, so we're going to make this this from a different point of view, and that's what's going to happen. So she's like, all right, okay. So she's like, all right, it can be done. Alright, she also says another thing, Memcho. At first glance, the bashing of Akane stands out, but that is also only on the surface level. In reality, it's only a small percentage of people doing that, and this was exactly what I was talking about a few moments ago. That the 200 comments that come underneath a social media post are like only the little people, few people. Millions of people are watching the show. Out of them, only 200 of them commented, and 200 of them are bashing the whole thing. I'm sure there's loads of people who support the whole situation, like supports Akane, but they're just afraid of vocalizing their whole situation because they'll just get ganged up after that. So that is why that is the whole conversation I had a few moments ago, where I was like, in these type of situations, I feel like the best thing that someone could actually do is just write a nice positive comment, and I'm sure looking at that, a few people will get a little bit more courage, and they'll also write a nice positive comment, and this will snowball into a big thing of positivity. And the person who are being bashed by this whole situation, actual people who are being framed like this wrongly, like Akane, they will be, at least after reading those few comments, they will actually feel a little bit of support, and the stress will at least go down a little bit, which might actually save someone's life. Okay. With the sensitive topic of an attempted suicide, most people are in the silent majority that's conflicted about whether to attack or to come to her defense. Yeah, exactly. In other words, there are many netizens who are looking for an answer, and there's also, like she says, a few people who are actually waiting for this whole thing to come to a conclusion so that they can pick a side and they can actually judge what's going on. So they're obviously keeping quiet about the situation. Yeah. And she says, if we provide them with a highly empathetic viewpoint, most of them will form a market that will readily believe that to be the righteous position. Yeah. That's how much attention this is grabbing. We might be able to wholly override existing public opinions. There you go. That's the whole thing. And she's like, let's do this. And Aqua's like, all right, I can easily do this. So why do I need to give you all of the... Yeah. And she's like, oh, do you know about the timings, the day of the week, when to upload it, when it's going to get the maximum retweet, the audience retention, blah, 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 algorithm, all that stuff. Do you know all of this? Aqua's like, no, I don't know. She's like, yeah, then give it to me. I'm going to make this a viral post, because that's what I usually do, being a YouTuber. Okay, so next, Aqua goes to this guy, I forgot his name, the guitar guy, and he's like, oh, we need some little music, and he's like, all right, I can help you, I can provide a little bit of music, and so they're planning on adding more scenes that have been caught in behind the scenes, that part where Yuki, I think that's her name, she says oh, it'd be great to include that scene, the scene where after Akane slaps me, I go tenderly and hug her, and she kind of tells that, oh, you know what, why I actually did that was because the camera was there, I had my camera rolling there, and that's why I kind of did that. And she says that, do you think a professional model like myself wouldn't be pay attention to the location of the fixed cameras? I did my best to position myself so I look good on the camera. And Nobu's like, talk about ruining the moment. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I understand why you're saying that. But still, what she did here was something that she did with the best intention in her mind. And yeah, obviously she wanted a little bit more drama about that situation. That is perfectly normal, because they're here to make the show more interesting and spicier. And obviously at that situation, Yuki had no clue that this whole thing will become this whole circus. She had no clue. So she was probably oh, let's do this and let's make this a little bit more spicier. What the producers and the directors that they did is that they just completely cut that out to paint Akane as the bad person, to make it more spicier and make it more dramatic. So obviously she's like, yeah, they just kept it in like to themselves. They didn't really publish that. And I feel like if that was published after that, a lot of these nonsense that is happening, this social media outrage, half of them would not be there. If they showed this scene. But no, obviously the producers want more money, more people watching this, want to make this spicier. So there you go. That is why they decided to just take that out. Yeah, there you go. Now you get to see that Aqua's like goes and confronts this dude, and he's like, "Oh, I cannot give it to you. Like, no way I can give it to you." And I love how Aqua just low key, like, kind of passively aggressively just like talks over here. He's like, "Yeah, with the attention all this is receiving, doing that would cause the bashing of Akane to be directed at the show instead." So yeah, that is why, isn't it? And he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you understand the situation. We're creating entertainment in the form of a reality show. Yeah, you think this is entertainment? What's happening in the social media, that is entertainment? All right. Okay. Okay, everyone watches the show because they enjoy seeing quarreling that has a sense of reality in it. We don't force Akane to do anything. It was her choice, and our staging is just meant to make things easy to understand for viewers. If she hasn't issued and objected to us using that footage, we wouldn't have. Am I wrong? Yeah, what is this guy saying? Akane had no clue that this is going to happen. She's not like a person who can read the future. Nobody had any clue that this is going to go into this type of situation. Who would have thought? Like this little thing is going to just devolve into this complete circus. And they just took advantage of that situation of Akane not knowing what to do in this type of situation to kind of prey on her and kind of manipulate her and use this situation. What a messed up situation. And here Aqua says that Akane has a strong sense of responsibility. And he's like, yeah, I know, after all, we've been filming her all this time. Akane is a pro, and this is a job to us crew. Okay. And here's the thing, he says that this is just a job for us, so we are doing this. And Akane is also a professional, so she should also know about this. Yeah, I understand that, obviously, he's correct in this situation. But the thing that I have the most problem here is that since you are a pro, that doesn't mean that, here what Aqua says after this, that she's actually 17 years old. He says, how old are you, director? And he's like, oh, I'm 35, if you must know. And he's like, yeah, Akane is 17. Pro or not, 17-year-olds are dumb kids who always making mistakes. And he says that, where's that one? What kind of adult chooses not to protect a kid? And yeah, you guys knew what was going to happen. At least you had a clue, an inkling as to what might go in this situation. And deliberately, keeping this quiet and kind of manipulating this situation to make this situation like this. And, the fact that you are now, acting as if, oh, she's a pro, so she should know, this was, she should be ready for this. We are also pro. We don't have anything against you guys. And this is just a way to make this the whole thing even more even more entertaining. So yeah, we are not doing anything wrong. After she tried to commit suicide, is this how you talk about this situation? That is so messed up. Imagine even after everything that happened, this guy acting like this. I really didn't like this whole this whole thing. And in the end, he does kind of say that, yeah, you know what, you're right. We were at the wrong. Still, I really didn't like how he was kind of trying to confront this situation, acting as if oh, I am innocent, we are innocent, yeah, we couldn't have known this could have gone this way. And yeah, trying to kind of shift responsibility. I really didn't like this part. Even after what happened, even after Akane tried to try to commit suicide, he's trying to be yeah, I don't know, how could I have known, this type of thing. I feel like a person in this type of situation, after seeing what Akane tried to do, should at least be feeling remorseful that, you know what, yeah, what I did here was wrong. And when Aqua confronted him about this, what was expecting is he would have at first, he would have like at the beginning, from the beginning, he would be like, yeah, you know what, that was our bad. But he tried to like shift the blame, the whole thing. That one part I really didn't like, because like even though in the end he did accept his responsibility, still like that whole situation was really nasty. I really didn't like that part where he was trying to shift the whole blame and trying to act as if like, oh, we're professionals, you know, like this is all a job, this is our job to do this, even after what happened. Like Aqua actually had to remind him that, oh, you know what, you know, you're 35, this is a little girl, 17-year-old, she wouldn't know what is good for her in this type of situation. Like girls and boys this age do dumb stuff, they don't know what's going on. So you being a 35-year-old man, you should have the basic common sense and the decency to at least like try to protect that person, you know, as a human being. You know, we're talking here as human beings, not as a professional or as a you know, like crew member. None of that. We're talking here as human beings. Like, anyways, he did end up taking responsibility, but still, I didn't like his whole attitude that he was like, you know, doing here. That was very nasty. Like so shameless. Just as if like, yeah, like, you know, we didn't know this was going to happen. Like, yeah, you knew 100% knew what was going to happen. You probably didn't know it was going to escalate this far, but you knew definitely that was going to happen. The escalation part, you probably didn't know that, oh, this is going to escalate this far. Huh. Good Lord. Okay. After that, next we get to see that Aqua. He gave the like, you know, footage to him after that, and yeah, they started kind of like, you know, making like a little montage video kind of thing, and Aqua's like kind of like it's chugging in energy drinks and doing the editing and stuff and almost dying. Oh boy. But yeah, in the end, Memcho kind of tells them that, you know what, within the first, I think like 1 minute, she says like 100 retweets is like, you know, the perfect way. You know, then you know it'll get like, you know, viral. And yeah, that's the thing. Like this is also one thing I've realized from YouTube as well, that, you know, if the initial like, you know, like you know, like views are like very high, it usually gets popular. You know, like very rare cases there are where a video starts slow and it little by little gains popularity. There's very rare situation that happens. If something is bound to be popular, it gets popular from the get-go. And that is how you can understand that, oh, this will be popular, you know, that type of thing. So I've learned that from YouTube, that yeah, like very rare cases are where it starts slow but goes higher. Very rare cases. And yeah, Memcho was like, yeah, it needs at least 100 retweets within the first minute. And they publish it, and you see like the retweets are increasing, and it was little by little, like, you know, like getting more traction, more people are watching it. You can see that Akane, obviously Akane wasn't there because she was still in her home, kind of like, you know, like rehab, like, you know, like kind of getting okay, like kind of de-stressing. She sees in the mobile phone. I feel like at this point the mobile phone at least should have been like, you know, like taken away from her at this situation, at least, because like the fact that she still had her mobile phone after that was kind of weird, because I feel like the first thing that they should have done in this situation is just take away the mobile phone, and they would be like, yeah, no more social media for you. Like keep the mobile, let her keep the mobile phone. At least take away like the social media, or at least like uninstall that app. And I feel like that would have been the better thing. Because yeah, even in that situation, she was checking out her mobile. That is kind of dangerous, you know, because she was mentally, you know, like very low at that time. So I feel like that was the wrong decision they took. Like letting her keep the social media. They should have at least like locked the social media or something like that. They could have done. But either way, she saw what happened, and she realized like, oh, like, you know, like things are getting better, kind of, and yeah, it became popular. Okay, now the new comments, as you can see, Nico, the cast of Love Live gets along well. Teimo, the Akane bashing probably isn't what YouTube wants. Yeah, duh. Like wow, you're such a genius. You understood that. Like I feel like, you know, as soon as this happened, this new video came out. Like I said, the few people who were laying low, as Akane said, there were a lot of people who didn't know what to do, and even if there were a lot of people who were supporting Akane, they were kind of afraid to be vocal about it. They were like, yeah, now we can comment about this, and then like they started commenting positive things, And yeah, like now here in this comment section, which is mostly positive, if a few people tries to come in, act smart and be like, oh, this is all like, like they try to act negative, they'll get bashed down after that. Like, this is usually what happens, like usually one, like, like whichever, like, thing is like gets bigger, what's that word, like positivity or negativity, whichever is more popular in a comment section, that is how the whole comment section goes. If there are more people praising the whole situation and talking good things about it, a few people who might try to act smart might come in and try to be negative about it, but they'll immediately get bashed down. Reverse happens if, like, it's usually negative. If it's most of it is negative, if a few people tries to come and support the person, they'll get bashed down. And that is why they're afraid of commenting in these types of situations. People who are like have positive and like, like kind of wants to be positive, they don't really comment in a negative comment section, because they're afraid of them also being a target. So that is usually what happens. But yeah, if you're somehow able to change the whole situation to be more positive, then we can change the whole thing and the public opinion can be overwritten. That is what was Aka was trying to do. Okay, I want to cheer on Akane now. Hang in there. Okay, Anonymous. What is this? LOL. Is attacking the show the trend now? LOL. You guys are too quick to reverse your position. LOL. Anonymous. They all come together and seem busy. Came together and seem busy. Okay. Yeah, a storm of online criticism resolved to a fair degree, and I was like, I'm telling that this is a fair degree, because obviously not everything can be resolved. There will still be a few trolls and a few people just being negative about the situation. You can't really do about anything about that. And as he says, like, like there will always be those people who, whenever something comes up, they'll be those who keep dragging this incident even 10 years from now. Oh boy, yeah, that is true. So true. if you watch YouTube, you'll know. If you watch like, like the YouTubers, the OG YouTubers and everything, you'll know what this actually is. Like this, like 10 years ago, YouTube was so different, and there was so many crazy stuff that happened on YouTube. And nowadays, obviously, most of those people have changed. They have completely changed their way of doing things, and they've become like, like a lot more calmer and cooler. But then the audience, as soon as they kind of mess up a little bit, they'll be like, oh, in 2011, this is what happened. So yeah, this person is evil. They never changed. This was all a act that he has been doing. This is an evil person. You see, 10 years ago this happened. Dude, 10 years ago you weren't even born. The person who's probably commenting about this, they probably weren't even born 10 years ago. Like, what are you on about? That's the whole thing. So yeah, Aka was 100% correct here. This is the social media. This is YouTube. Obviously that is going to happen. But yeah, nothing you can do about that. There will always be those people. Okay. So you can see, I love this part where Yuki's like, oh, there's no need to force it though. And then she's like, wait a minute. Okay, no, that came out wrong. Like, oh my God, people these days take everything out of context. Like, I didn't mean it in a bad way. If this was actually being documented and put on Twitter, everyone probably would bash me now. And I'd probably get cancelled. And Yuki's like, yeah, it's like, Akane's like, yeah, it's fine. I know you don't mean anything bad by that. Okay, so Aqua says that one thing you can do in this situation is make like a little persona, like a lot of people does that, especially in these type of situations, so that they don't get hurt. Since it's all a persona, they can kind of be detached to that. Kind of in a weird way, if you think about it, it's kind of like the multiple personality disorder where you have a different personality. It's kind of like that if you think about it, where like if you know what multiple personality disorder is when someone gets when from a very young age they get stressed out and are subjected to a lot of stress, mental stress. What they do is they make another personality, and all that stress transfers it to that personality like a baggage, and they themselves, they are fine, de-stressed completely. The other personality kind of makes that, and if they still get stressed out by a few other things that is happening, they make another personality and dumps up all that stress to them. kind of like that. If you think about it, that is what Aqua is saying. Like, make a personality, like if something crazy happens, you can be detached from that. Being your original self in front of the camera is actually very dangerous in these type of situations as well, because if you are being your true self, with your original name out in, like, inside outside, people, when they bash you, you'll actually feel like, like hurt by it, and you'll be stressed. But if you make like a persona, I guess into some degree, up until some degree, you can probably kind of be detached to that persona, and like, a lot of stress probably won't come even when you're being bashed. I think that's what Akko was trying to say here. And he says that people also does this for socializing, which is true. People always wear a mask unless and until, in front of strangers especially, you don't know what the other person is. So you kind of act like, like put on a mask. If you become good friends with that person, then you take off the mask, that type of thing. Mentions like the act you put on is several layers deep, isn't it? You can show your original personality a little bit more. And Akan is like, alright, I'm going to try. And and then Yuki and Memcho is like, oh, like, like, Aqua, what type of person do you like? Tell me, what act should Akane do? And Akane is like writing everything down, and he says that at first he says like girl with a pretty face. They're like, like like what? And then he kind of continues. She has a smile like the sun. Her performances are perfect. Her speech and behavior are seemingly all conquering. And Memcho, okay, no, her eyes draw you in by their very nature. And Memcho was crazy perspective here, like perceptive. She's like, oh, I can picture it. Someone like I from B Komachi. And Aqua's like, wow, she got it immediately. And Akane is like, oh, like the person who died. And and Yuki's like, oh, so this is the type of person you like, huh, Aqua? Okay, so Akane's writing it down, and Aqua's like, yeah, like not everyone can act like that and be like that. I was different. I don't think anyone can emulate that. And you can see here, Akane is ready to do that. And you can see that after that, what happens is Aqua's like, oh, like, Akane is like, Aqua worked hard to make that video for me. I was happy. Because, yeah, true, in that situation, like, he was probably the person who, like, he was the only person who helped her at that situation. So that became a huge impact for her. And she's like, I gotta return the favor. If I play the role of his ideal girl, I wonder if he'll be happy. Now she goes and does the research after that, and like the way she researches. Now here's the thing, this kind of shows how crazy good she is in her own, like, area of expertise, like acting as someone. She makes a full research about the situation, and this part where you were seeing she was going full crazy researching, this was actually scary because she was just so concentrating. And she was like actually kind of getting into the role so much. And, like from that, scene, like it was so good that it was scary. That type of thing. Like her whole, like, acting like after that, as we see, like it was actually scarily good how she was perfectly able to, like, grasp that whole thing. Isn't even alive. She just got everything from past videos, past news articles, everything. And she's like, she writes everything down. She's like, oh, does this confidence come from, like, okay. Her need for social approval was met. Seems she didn't have many close friends. I bet she had some relationship with guys. Was her family environment good? I say her personality development points to a bad one. She's actually pinpointing everything. There's some kind of bias in the way she feels affection, which is again true because you remember, like, I was always struggling with how to express her feelings of love, and she didn't know what love was. She wanted to learn that, and she was afraid of showing love to, saying I love you to her children as well because of that situation. An obsession with secrecy, need for exposure, perfectionist in contrast to the sensational behavior, nonchalant, over-attached, moderate when it comes to money, somewhat indifferent when it comes to fashion, good eyesight, sensitive sense of hearing and smell, walk in long strides, education level on the low side, holds chopsticks somewhat irregularly, signs of development disorder, unbalanced in a way, characteristic of a kid who had sex during puberty. Damn. And she's like, yeah, I got it. I'll be able to do it. Her self-destructive behavior showed improvement around when she was 15. And yeah, her eyes were like completely gone. Yeah, she was fully in, like, the role. I wonder if she met someone special. Alright, there you go. Now next we see like Arima's like talking about this whole situation. Arima's like, is she okay, Akane? And Akko's like, yeah, she's fine. And he's like, oh, she should have like like just retired. I was like, what are you saying? And she's like, oh, don't take this out of context. Like, like I'm not really like trying to bash her or something. Oh, if this was taken out of context into social media, I'd be bashed by social media and Twitter. Same thing that Yuki said. But yeah, she's like not in that way. I'm saying because like she's my rival as an actress. So that is why, like I'm saying that. And Aqua's like, yeah, rival actors or not, your foul mouth does not help. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, one thing she says here, like, she says like she's a thorn on my side. You can understand why I want her to drop off a bit. Okay, this part I don't understand. This is what they call Schadenfreude. What does that mean? Wait a minute, let me check. Because Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. Pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. Okay. Alright. Okay. Schadenfreude. That's the how way you feel towards Kurakawa, towards Akane? And she's like, yeah. Okay, here I must say something interesting. She says, you were never interested in theater, you're a screen actor, so you don't know. Akane Kurokawa of theater company La La Lai is a famous as a gifted performer in the theatrical world. I don't understand one thing here. If she was this talented and this gifted, why did we see that one scene where she was being like, like kind of bashed by the producer or whatever? You remember that scene where the manager was kind of apologizing and she was listening from the outside or something like, or was, no, wait, was that? Oh no, I think that was happening because Akane got least amount of screen time. Oh, never mind. Okay, no, I kind of mixed both the things up. Oh yeah, that happened because she was getting least amount of screen time. But still, if she was actually this talented, why was the producer or whatever that hard on her? Like, wouldn't they be praising her? Be like, oh, like, because if she's like this gifted, I don't know. But anyways, like I do remember seeing how she gave her all. You remember that little montage of everyone bashing her while we were seeing how Akane was like, just studying, doing everything, writing everything down, practicing her craft, that part. So that kind of shows, like, since she's so meticulous about everything and so serious about everything, she's this good, this talented. And this gifted, as I say, as a gifted performer in the theatrical world. And we get that result immediately after that, because the next time when Akane comes in and Akane is introduced back into the show, Aqua goes in and she's like, all right, let's switch on my my persona. And she's like, oh, you're right, Aqua, like kind of in Ai's way of speaking. Aqua looks back and she opens her eyes and you see the mark, and she's like, does the little yawning that I always did. And she's like, I'm sure you're sleepy, feeling's just so early, And she's like, oh, are the cameras still rolling? And yeah, her smile. And wait a minute, now that I look at her, I realize she looks a lot like Aqua. I. she also kind of looks a lot like I. Like, I'm not talking about her eyes. Her eyes here is because, like, that was just a way of showing that she has completely embraced I's persona, not the eye. I'm talking about her face. Her face is very similar to I's face. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I also kind of look like this blue hair, kind of this way of hairstyle. Yeah, I actually looks like her, or she looks like I. And Aku was like astonished. And yeah, okay, so here's the thing. I don't know what I thought. Up until now, I thought that design was actually something that they had. You remember? I don't know, like, if you guys see, like if you remember one of the previous episode, I said, like, oh, like, they have the eye mark. Couldn't they easily equate that I and Aqua and Ruby are actually, like her children? Couldn't they easily figure out from that? No, I think the mark in the eye is just, or maybe not. I'm not really sure, because here we see that, like, Akane, like, that mark comes in her eyes, which is a way of them showing us that, oh, this mark is a way of showing that she has completely embraced Ai's persona. That is why the mark came on. Obviously that mark isn't Akane doesn't have that mark in her eye. So that's just the anime's way of showing us that, oh, she has embraced that persona. But here's the thing, like, the mark that Ruby and Aqua has, are they like actual mark? Probably not, because no one's eyes are like that. I think that is just a way of, like a style in the anime. Like, just a style in the anime that they are showing that, oh, like, like, that is I and this is her children. I think it's just like an imaginary thing that we audience are seeing. In reality, I don't think any of them has that thing. I am pretty sure of it, because, yeah, I don't know what I thought up until now. I just thought that was an actual thing. That is why I was like, oh, couldn't they just figure it out that they're I's children from that? But probably not, because that is actually something that doesn't exist in reality. In anime, they're just stylizing it like that, or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, that was a good episode where we get to see the whole social media situation get resolved up to a certain extent. And yeah, now Akane has embraced I's persona. And I'm guessing next episode we'll probably see more of the reality TV dating show, and see what happens over there. I'm really interested in how, like, the reality TV show is going to end. Like, this will be interesting, because I'm pretty sure from here onwards, Akane will probably try to go for Aqua. So we already have that main couple of Nobu and Yuki. So now that, I don't know, Akane has jumped in, and she's probably going to target Aqua. I don't know how this is going to go. So let's see. Either way, that is it. That's my reaction to episode number 7 of Oshi no Ko. Again, another huge discussion. This anime, I just talked so much about it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yes, that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Oshi no Ko. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.